Hello, happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day Energy Balance. My name is Sue McLaughlin, and Inner Source Living is my practice. Before we get started on the balance, I saw on the Today Show, one of my resource sources, if you will. I seem to get little messages from strange places, which brings me great joy. I'm just going to tell you. So Jay Shetty, who is a former monk that does a lot of mindfulness coaching type work. You can find him online, I'm sure on Facebook as well. His last name is Shetty. So he spoke for, it seemed like 2 minutes. So I'll save you the time of looking him up on the Today Show. But he spoke about a practice called time, something easy to remember. So T is for thankful, I is for inspiration or inspired, M is for meditate, E is for exercise. So what seems really obvious to me is instead of dividing these into individual acts, you can tie it up in a bow and do it all at one time. So when you're doing your form of movement, your exercise, like walking outside, thinking, praying, reflecting, inward work. That's what meditation is inward work and connecting upward. Inspiring. What is inspiring? Is there something around you inspiring, especially if you're out on a walk? Is there nature or a beautiful plant? Children playing and hearing the laughter, carefreeness, or even feeling carefree as you're moving and enjoying the air and being outside. And then you can be thankful. Thankful for the vessel that we have here that is enabling you to do the movement. Thank you for the day. You name it, right? And so you can just do that all at one time. So something to think about. I'm not attached to whether you do it or not. All right, so today we are focused on the heart, our passion, our desire, and places where we can be deeply hurt. There is hesitation and resistance also coming up, and which is kind of, again, it's sort of like one coin, two sides. So are you resisting doing something, or do you really want to do it and you're hesitating, and really getting some clarity on that, and the why are you hesitating? So this is a general balance for anybody who sees it. So I may not come up with a specific answer to your whys, but that's where you get to do the time practice and think about it. Or maybe just listening to this will bring it to you. It'll start to bubble up. So, and always ask for grace and ease. So I don't want to be bonked on the head. Just let it easily come to me and give me the grace to receive it. All right. Okay, so again, play this as often as you need to. You can be relaxed. You can be in movement if that is a great way for you to listen and process. Also, get my admins out of the way. Subscribe, like, and share. And if you want to get this on a regular basis via email, you can go to my website, innersourceliving.com, and it'll pop up and you can subscribe to it. So it's, subscription that you can also unsubscribe from. So if you got a commitment issue, maybe that'll come up next week. We can work on that. All right. Okay. So some nice deep breaths, getting relaxed, opening ourselves up to what is going to ground us today for the rest of this week, or maybe in the future. All right, so I'm basing this off of the Body Talk chart. I'm using my hands to muscle test and other resources like Emotionalist, etc. All right. Okay, so heart, going right to the organ. Heart, and it's around the activity of watching, observing, learning, and maybe and then feeling stuck in that place. Like it's really like just this evaluating the environment, and when has it been enough time? And so it's almost the emotion around that it's a very depressed, heavy emotion, and it's off my list. It's actually almost feeling like you're in hell, like you're so stuck, you're feeling in hell. Can I make that decision? Can I just make a decision, right? Can I make a step forward? And so what's up? So we're building formula. We come up with heart. We have the interferences is coming up, and so an interference could be like a bracelet or something like that, something that someone gave you and it's got an emotional attachment. But in this case, it's this belief system that we need more information. And that's what's causing this resistance and this hesitation. Like, I don't know if I have enough information, so I'm just going to keep waiting, or I'm going to keep researching and being stuck in the research of something before I make that big leap. I need to have my PhD in whatever that is before I'm going to actually do anything, which is instead of like, I'm an undergrad and I'm going to do an internship and learn. That means I have to step out and do some action and learn, right? So, and then there is, okay. And so what's really charging this stuckness right now is an active memory where, and it's very fear-based, and it's where in the past we've either seen somebody or we ourselves have stepped out with good intentions and it was the wrong thing. We went out and said the wrong thing to try and make someone feel better, to get engagement, and not and then shutting down versus allowing that to actually be the catalyst to learn and move forward. So where we've got this, we want to unplug this active memory from the wall. It's very charged and it's keeping us stuck. That's where it's like in hell. And so instead of it just everything being too risky, seeing it as experience and research and information, if it just keeps taking steps forward. Okay. So it's sort of like the anthem is having the courage to make bold mistakes with good intentions. You know, sometimes it's like, well, that didn't work, but it was just a little bit of money, so I can make more money, right? So it's that, instead of being like, oh, I lost that money, it's sort of like, well, I didn't know. All right, so that is our first formula. Yeah, and all right, so I'm gonna place my hand over my heart for anyone, for you watching this. I'm gonna tap on my head, my heart, and my gut minds. You can put your hand on your heart if you'd like to participate in that way, but you do not have to. And I just need you to take just make sure you're breathing, just some slow, deep breaths. If you're ever feeling like you can't get that deep breath, just go slow. Slowly breathe in. And then as you relax, you'll be able to breathe deeper with each breath. Sometimes breathing is a journey in and of itself. Tapping on both sides of my brain, really getting this acknowledgement of this formula, this information, and how we are subconsciously responding, saving it in our heart. What is truth in our gut, so that we have that gut intuition to help us make those steps forward, say those words that might feel a challenge to say because we're not clear about it, what to say. Okay, all right, so that's still processing a little bit. So just still nice deep breaths. And there is nothing wrong with asking for higher power, me, that means God, Holy Spirit, to step in and guide my words. All right. Let my heart and my intention be felt more than my words. The specifics of my words are heard. Okay, so we're ready to move on. We're staying in organs, and it's kidneys, both kidneys. And the kidneys filter. They filter out impurities in our blood, so we keep the pure and what our body needs, and then that gets flushed out, right? And so these impurities, we want, it's old grief, old regret, old pain, maybe old pain to our heart, where our heart got hurt. Yeah, and there is that theme of good intentions. So I asked somebody out on a date and I got rejected. I asked somebody if maybe I asked somebody if they want to be a client or want a session and I get rejected. Well, it doesn't feel good all the time, right? But gotta keep that momentum and movement there. So filtering out those old things and not holding on to that information in the physical body, letting our body take care of that, because our memory knows and we learn from that. And this work helps also pull up that unconscious where it's really stuck and we've stopped paying attention to it, so that we can pull it up and re-examine it. And what is truth, what needs to stay, what needs to go. Let go, let go, let go of the old. That isn't serving. Okay. And there's also a connection here to groups. And it's this feeling of needing to belong. And our judgments around what groups are safe and what ones are unsafe, or what ones are welcoming, or will they not, or what their intention is in welcoming us. Is it really for my good, or is it for the good of the group? And, I hope you get something out of it, type of thing. So it's sort of, and again, these are these patterns that we want to get them, push them out, filter them out, so that we can actually use our gut intuition, use our logic, our heart mind, in our gut mind to my answer still is no to that group, and that's okay. But now I'm another theme. Now I'm making that decision when I'm grounded and I'm calm and not out of fear. Is there anything else? Oh, so I guess another way I would describe this is if you want to go back to high school. I really don't want to go back to high school, but you think of the cliques you have, or even in grade school, we have these cliques, right? And so the only way to stay in this clique is to judge this clique as not good as my clique, right? And so how do we get these circles to circumvent, so that, because the power is when we are all working together, right? You can still have your inner ring, your inner circle, but it doesn't mean you don't get to connect and glean joy and knowledge from the outer rings. So okay, so that's our second piece here. Oh, there's a sub-session that comes in with this group, and it's consciousness in the heart, and it's spleen. And so the spleen, it is about our rhythm of life, and it's this over worry and overthinking, and where that over worry and overthinking is causing misconstrued judgments, I guess is how I would describe it. Because it's just easy, judge good, bad, right, wrong, good fit, not good fit, nice, not nice, that type of thing. And there's also this it just feels like it's going to be a lot of work. So that is I'm trying to manage the rhythm I'm in now, and if I do that, is that going to take more energy from me, or is it going to be too much work, and our misconstrued beliefs around that. And I think there's double layers. So sometimes it being work is good, right? That means we're learning, we're stretching, we're expanding. You don't get really good at something if you haven't put a lot of time and energy into it. Also, but that time and energy is usually, it doesn't drain you. Sometimes you might be tired by the end of the night, but it fuels you. and it keeps you moving forward. And so it's like, let me get clear. Again, that spleen also is about clarity and purifying our blood. So it's also getting clear on, is this group draining my energy, or is it inspiring me to work harder? And even if I don't initially see the results. Okay, so subsession, we're going back up to that group. And now it is, we're pulling in another modality. Body talk people understand what that means. So we're pulling in, I like to use oils, essential oils. And so let me look, I have my essential oil reference book, which I'll quickly show you where I'm going. Okay, so we're getting Roman chamomile oil, and its spiritual purpose is the oil of spiritual purpose. The emotions, the heavy emotions it addresses is not feeling purposeful, so you're feeling purposeless, discouraged, frustrated, unsettled. So if you're feeling any of those things, the vibration is what I'm bringing in. You don't need to go buy this product unless you really think that's a good for you. But we're bringing its vibration, and so we can raise your vibration up here. And let's see what else it has to say. It helps you in shedding meaningless activities that consume our lives, so that we cannot focus on more meaningful, fulfilling work. Also, there is, so I'm just kind of gleaning what I hear. So you want to feel more peace and calm, we want to bring this in, right? That's another thing that it helps with, that unsettledness and giving us, and it supports an individual in discovering and living their true life purpose. So that can mean career, but it could be your purpose in, so right now we wear masks a lot and we can't smile. And I don't know if you ever heard the whole thing. If you just smile more, someone might see that smile and that shifts it for them. Wow, I'm really kind of feeling this emotionally. And that just sends this ripple effect. Because I know my purpose is to make a healing ripple effect one person at a time. And so it's that kind of thing. And I can't smile at people as much anymore. In fact, I've told people, I'm like, oh, you can't see them smiling at you. And so that, and so now maybe it's our words. So maybe we just say hello to somebody so they get seen. They're like, you saw me, right? You didn't just push by me and ignore me. Look at your phone. You actually saw me and said hello. So it can be that simple, or it can be something more powerful and meaningful and maybe hard to say to somebody that needs to hear it right now, because you're not sure how they're going to receive it, but they maybe really need to hear it. And again, I ask Holy Spirit to create the perfect timing, open up the opportunity, and to guide my words and my steps. And sometimes it's really not that hard. I don't know who I'm speaking to about this, but I hope you hear this, really hear this and really feel this. And maybe it's just what we need to say to ourselves. All right. Woo! Feeling it. Bring in that vibration of Roman chamomile and feel. Because we put a lot of judgment and a lot of meaning in this society on what your purpose is. My purpose is to make money or to whatever, that kind of thing. And we don't put a lot of value on what we didn't see the ripple effect on, right? So we value, I can see the exchange, I can see what happened, I can see my paycheck, right? That kind of thing. But what we don't value is what we're not told. And so sometimes, I hope you've had this experience, or I hope you have it soon, where somebody goes back to you and says, I love it. You did something for them that made a difference a long time ago. So you understand that every day our decisions, our steps forward, where we chose not to hesitate and we had resistance around what it might do as far as hurting us. Yeah, just I hope you feel that you get that message somewhere. You get a note, like that teacher who gets the message from the student who's, you know, it's been 10, 15 years, and who was the one that made the difference? It was, you know, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so in 8th grade, right? And so I'm just pushing that out there to you. So if you don't get that message right away, you feel it and you know that you have purpose. All right. Well, I feel like I just took everybody to church today, but we need to tap this out. If you want to participate in this, as far as holding on, you can put your hands on your ribs underneath your breast line. You can put them on your back in that same area. It's a little physically closer, but this is really all about intention, isn't it? So I'm going to lay my arm across. Also, you know, that our spleen is in this area. I'm really connecting it. I'm going to put my hand on my heart. So I just, you know, connecting that overthinking that's getting in our way of taking that leap of faith forward. And maybe being the inspiration in that time practice. All right. I'm going to take some nice, keep taking some nice deep breaths. I'm going to tap this in. Long there. Sometimes resistance can keep us from feeling something incredibly amazing. So as I started to tap up and I wanted to speak, I just chose to feel. And I just felt this well being filled with joy. And I just didn't resist it. Woo! That was delicious. And I am thankful that I was inspired to speak today. All right. All right. That is the end. Just in this video, not in the ripple effect, I hope. Moving forward for you and for the world and everyone around us. Because putting that joy out there, putting that inspiration out there, just because we don't see where it goes doesn't mean it doesn't go further than our backyard. All right. Sorry I didn't turn off my notifications. Thank you for listening today. Like and share this if you are inspired to. And much healing, and I will see you in a week. Take care. My name is Sue McLaughlin, and my practice is Inner Source Living. Bye-bye.